I thought I'd invite you into my own mind. And there's a number of reasons for this. I'm going to explain to you what some of my thinking experience is like so that you can do your own exploration into your own thinking. I started on this journey many years ago. And the amazing thing is that what I've discovered, even in the last few months, completely evaded me for many years. These things were not even on the radar. They were so stealthy. And I thought years ago I had such a good handle on my thinking and what I was thinking about and how my thinking worked. I had no idea. And we turned a corner because the attention training that we're doing is so crucial. I can't even tell you how important it is. It's a game changer. The work that you should be doing on your own is so important. And I'll explain to you briefly why. Because when you start working with your attention, and you start figuring out how it works, what it's doing, what you're spending time paying attention to, when does your attention go inward? How well can you control your attention? When do you lose control of it? When do you kind of come up from under the water and find out, oh, I've been thinking about this, or these things keep creeping up on me and they steal my attention. And then if you talk about things like worry, rumination, and all of the other issues that we could be having, it's such an amazing thing. It's an eye-opener. When you have a relationship with your attention, it's a whole different ballgame. And that's what changed things for me this year. Because I thought I had a good handle on worry. I've had anxiety for a long time. And matter of fact, for many years, I didn't even know it was anxiety. It was like this, most of the time, this low-grade version of anxiety where there's this constant uneasiness. It's unsettled. And then sometimes when there's a problem or a challenge, the feelings become more pronounced. So recently I found out that that's what I've been experiencing for all these years. So there's a few things here. There's catastrophizing. I want to talk to you about that. I don't want to say that I expect the worst from things, because if you ask me, if I'm talking to someone, I'll tell them, oh, I expect the best. I have positive expectation, great expectations. But in reality, my mind was immediately giving me the worst case scenario for almost anything that happened. And it was so under the radar, so quick, that I didn't even pay attention to it. I didn't even know it was happening. I just expected the worst. I wanted something to happen. I made an effort towards something. I was talking to someone. Whatever it was, out of all of the options, the whole option set, I expected the worst one. And if I had a challenge or I've had an adverse situation, I always expected the worst, but I wouldn't say that I did. It just happened by itself. My attention went to the worst thing. Like my brain passed the ball of the worst possible outcome to my attention. My attention zeroed in on it. And it happened so fast that it just escaped me. So I was always expecting the worst things to happen. So that's catastrophizing. And regardless of how improbable or probable it is, that calculation never enters the fray, right? It doesn't even matter. You look at the solution set. What's the worst possible outcome? I'm targeted on that. I was constantly finding something to worry about. And I would worry about everything that was on my plate. Any problem I had, any potential challenge or adverse scenario, I'd worry about it until it was resolved. And uncertainty plays a big role in that. I find that even if there isn't danger, so we worry about things that we think have a potential dangerous outcome or a threat, right? And again, and threat monitoring is just something that's a given for me. It's just always threat monitoring. Even when I'm not worried about a specific thing, if there is an element of uncertainty, and this is something I just recently discovered about myself, if there is an element of uncertainty, I get worried about that. So it doesn't have to be threatening or anything that I think is related to fear. But if it's just, there's a lot of uncertainty, because, uncertainty could include things which are not, undesirable or not good for you, or just the whole uncertainty itself. It doesn't have to even include a potential for a real negative outcome. If it's just uncertain, it's a problem. And that actually, interestingly, I have been, always have been, very impatient. Had no idea why. I couldn't trace it back to anything in my childhood. There's no rhyme or reason for why I would be impatient. And that was a big theme through most of my life, impatience, and it cost me a lot. The interesting thing is, if there is uncertainty involved in something, I want to act right away, immediately, to reduce the uncertainty. And so it appears that I'm impatient. So I jump on things instead of, for example, giving something time, or I could wait on something, or it's better to wait. I will do it immediately, or act on it immediately. And so it will look like I'm being impatient. But what I was trying to do, and I had no idea until recently, I was just trying to reduce the uncertainty, because it didn't make me feel good, because I have anxiety. And if you have anxiety, that doesn't feel good. It's just a terrible feeling. And the low-grade version of it is just a terrible feeling. It just feels like your body is just amped in a way that it's just unsettling. It's distressing. Worst forms of it is when you just get nauseous, you just feel sick, or it could present itself in so many different ways. But I wanted to avoid that as much as possible, reduce that feeling as much as possible. And that involved reducing uncertainty. That involved just immediately doing everything I could to address things so that I wouldn't worry as much. So worrying and trying to avoid uncertainty has been an ongoing struggle for me, and it's irrational. And there's another thing here, is that in anxiety and related to worry, we tend to overestimate the potential danger of things, and we underestimate our ability to cope with them. That's a standard. I mean, that's always happening. We overestimate the potential danger, potential for it's always catastrophic. No matter how small the thing is, it hits us as if it's threatening our life. Just constantly overestimating and giving more to something than it really deserves. And then the flip side of that, the other side of the coin, is just as underestimating my ability to manage it. It's a crazy thing. Even when you know this about yourself, it's still happening, and it's happening at the same time. And I hope that what you're getting out of this is is not. Now I know why Henry talks about this stuff, or he's so messed up, but so that you can figure out what idiosyncrasies you have, what issues and challenges that have been flying under the radar for you. This attention training program is going to help you do that. I hope you really go through the training in earnest, and you do as much training as possible on your own, because you're going to start finding things out about yourself that you just had no idea existed, like myself.